Hello. Today, we are looking at one of the darkest and most tragic stories of World War II, the destruction of Cologne, Germany. Today, Cologne is known as a modern city beside the Rhine River, but during the World War II, it became one of the most heavily bombed cities in Europe. This is the story of how an ancient city slowly disappeared under fire from the sky. Before the war, Cologne was one of Germany's oldest and most important cities. The city had existed for nearly 2000 years since Roman times. Located beside the Rhine River, Cologne became a major center for trade, religion, transportation, and industry. At the center of the city stood the magnificent Cologne Cathedral. Its massive Gothic towers dominated the skyline and symbolized the identity of Cologne itself. As World War II intensified, Allied forces began launching large bombing campaigns against German cities. Cologne quickly became the first major targets. At first, the bombings were smaller and less frequent. Air raids, sirens interrupt daily life. Families rushed underground into shelters and basements while aircraft passed above the city. But with every month, the attacks became larger, more organized, and more destructive. Fear slowly became part of everyday life in Cologne. People no longer knew whether their homes would still exist the next morning. Then came one of the most devastating nights in the history of the city. On May 30, 1942, the British Royal Air Force launched the famous 1000 bomb raid in Cologne. For the first time during the war, more than 1000 bombers attacked a single city during the one night. That city was Cologne. As darkness covered the city, the sky suddenly filled with aircraft engines. Then the bombing began. Explosions shocked entire districts. Buildings collapsed within seconds. Windows shattered across the city. Factories exploded into flames. Railway stations, homes, churches, and streets were destroyed under massive waves of bombs. The sky above Cologne turned red from fire. People hiding underground could hear walls collapsing and explosions echoing above them. For civilians trapped inside shelters, the bombing felt endless. After the raid, huge fires spread across Cologne. Entire neighborhoods burned uncontrollable. Historic streets disappeared beneath smoke and rubble. The heat from the fires became so intense that some areas looked like rivers of flames. Emergency workers struggled to rescue civilians trapped beneath destroyed buildings. Hospitals became overcrowded with injured people. Water and electricity systems stopped functioning in the many districts. Roads became blocked by debris, broken glass, and collapsed structures. The once historic city slowly transformed into ruins. The destruction was not only physical. Thousands of civilians lost their lives during the bombing campaign. Families became separate during the air raids. Many people died trapped beneath collapsed homes. Children grew up surrounded by fear, smoke, destruction, and constant sirens. Food shortages became severe. People spent nights underground waiting for the bombing to end. Many survivors later described Cologne during the war as a city filled with silence, ruins, smoke, and fear. For ordinary civilians, daily survival became a only priority. One of the most haunting images from World War II came from Cologne itself. Although heavily damaged, Cologne Cathedral remained standing. Around it, almost the entire city center had been destroyed. Photographs from after the bombings showed that the giant cathedral towers rising above endless ruins. Burned buildings, collapsed streets, destroyed railways, and smoke surrounded the cathedral in every direction. The image became one of the strongest symbols of destruction during the war. As the war continued, Cologne was bombed again and again. Wave after wave of Allied aircraft continued to attack the city. Factories, bridges, railways, and residential districts were repeatedly destroyed. By 1945, nearly 90% of center of Cologne had been damaged or erased. Large parts of the population fled the city to escape the bombings. What remained was a landscape of rubble and burned buildings. The ancient city that had survived for centuries had been almost completely destroyed within only a few years. In March 1945, American forces entered Cologne. What they found was a shattered city. Broken bridges, collapsed factories, destroyed homes, and endless ruins covered the landscape beside the Rhine River. Entire district no longer exists. The once beautiful city center had become almost unrecognizable. The destruction of Cologne during the World War II remains one of the most tragic examples of aerial warfare in history. Photographs showing Cologne before and after the bombings still shock people today. A reminder of how quick war can erase centuries of history, architecture, and human life. And a reminder of the suffering experienced by millions of civilians during World War II. Thank you for watching and see you next videos.